Have you ever wanted to play a gritty, dystopian adventure game? Have you ever wanted to die instantly because more than one guy saw you? Have you ever wanted to empty your pockets every 30 goddamn seconds because your inventory is full of literal trash and drugs? Have you ever wanted to become best friends with a Lovecraftian meat monster slowly consuming the world as you know it? Well, if you answered yes to any of the previous questions, then you would probably love Death Trash. Allow me to preface this with the fact that the game is incredibly early in beta, so a lot will change as the game becomes more developed. It was launched August 5th of 2021, so it's only about 2 months old as of the release of this video, so take everything here with a grain of salt. But I've got shit to do and need to finish this recording, so let's get into it. Death Trash has a pretty simple story. Wake up in an underground human preservation bunker, talk with a sentient pile of meat, transcend your humanity and commune with the flesh to reach a higher state of being. You know, like an average Tuesday afternoon. Because this game is still being developed, only a bit of the story is playable right now, and the ending feels really sudden, like it literally just stops you. But that's kinda to be expected since the world is pretty large and the developers plan on adding 2 more functional areas in the near future, adding multiple hours onto the story. The combat is satisfying, if not just a little bit repetitive, but that's mostly due to a lack of weapon variety right now. The developers have already stated that they're adding more weapons and weapon types soon, so hopefully it'll feel a little bit more expansive. There are also blatant balance issues that are being addressed, like stealth simply being the best way to play the game. There's a combat roll that makes you immune to damage for a little bit, but uses up your stamina, as well as implants that'll allow you to use other powers, like pulling someone close to you, or summoning an army of flesh. An interesting note is that you can't really heal in combat, with your ability to eat being locked while you're near enemies. The only healing item that you can really use is Nano Health, the best healing item in the game, and by far the rarest. There are a couple of upgrades for weapons, but nothing game-changing, just a few extra points of damage. And if you're really in an emergency, just use a rocket launcher or an energy gun. These both have relatively limited ammo, but they absolutely destroy health bars, including yours, so don't get too close to those defense drones. There's not a huge variety of enemies either, but they get the job done. All the humans can use any type of weapon, so you have to scout out who to kill first before madly dashing in. Middle mouse allows you to pan the camera around your character, letting you look around the area a little bit more, and this control is going to become your best friend, because information is incredibly important to not instantly die in combat. I wouldn't say that the game is insanely hard, but it's definitely unforgiving. Taking on more than 3 enemies at a time is basically a death sentence, and you really have to pay attention to weapon types. If you decide to kill someone with a sword before someone with a shotgun, you're gonna have a very bad time. So combat is pretty nice overall, but what about gameplay outside of combat? Well, even with a shortish campaign, the interactions with NPCs are pretty nice. There are enough dialogue options to make things interesting, with more coming soon according to the developers, and the dialogue can reliably make me chuckle. This game has a great sense of humor. For a game about the world slowly ending as sentient flesh consumes all, it's pretty funny. One of my favorite moments in the whole game is during a side quest where you need to retrieve a blind man's eyes from security robots in a bunker. He'll follow you around slowly, but the second that you enter combat, he'll pull out a shotgun and just start firing randomly around him. It's fantastic, and the whole game is packed with crazy little interactions like this. But speaking of eyes... Listen, I'm a huge fan of pixel art, and this game just looks beautiful. Everything is great, from the dystopian towns with broken down houses to the hauntingly grotesque abominations of flesh scattered around the world. Even the title screen really captures the feel of this gritty, horrifying, and yet funny world, with people just walking around casually next to Meat Cthulhu over here. It's so off-putting and funny at the same time, and that's fantastic. And the sounds, oh man, the sounds are good. The sounds of people vomiting actually makes me feel sick, and the sounds of the flesh cracking are so strange. There's one guy just floating in a pool of his own blood sleeping, and his breathing is really deep and disturbing. I love this game's sound design because it really makes it clear when it's supposed to be funny and when it's trying to be creepy. The music is fantastic too, and although there's not a ton of different tracks, it fits the world incredibly well. Everything from the title theme's creeping dread to the puke bar's dance constantly bopping quietly in the background, it's all tailored carefully to suit the feeling of the area. The basic enemy designs are a bit plain, but the drones and larger enemies look amazing, and the UI is clean and easy to read at a glance. I really like this little jump effect the screen does when you fire a gun or interact with something with your inventory. It just adds that extra little feedback to let you know that something happened. The world map looks fantastic as well because of the general outline of areas and lack of detail makes it feel like a map someone in the game would actually use. And moving from place to place on this little red trail is reminiscent of old adventure movies with their travel sequences. The fact that the name of an area isn't revealed to you until you enter makes it feel like you're really exploring the unknown. And while exploring the unknown is great, some things are better known. For example, if you're interested in this game, then you're probably wondering, so let me reiterate something that I said in the very beginning of this video. This game is in beta. At the point I'm going to be uploading this video, Death Trash will be just barely 2 months old, if even that. I was able to get all achievements in the game after about 6 hours of gameplay. Well, almost all of them. Which isn't a ton of time considering the game is $20 on Steam right now. The map is small, the interactions barely exist, and combat isn't very expansive. There's barely a story, and the only hard part of the game is permadeath mode. So with all this in mind, is this game worth your money? Yes! I finished this game in 1 day with barely any breaks because I just couldn't stop playing. This was the most fun I've had with a new game since Hades came out, and I was invested in every second of it. The problems that I talked about in this video have all been discussed by the developers, and they're working hard to continue on the game. There are patches coming out every 3 or 4 days to fix bugs and update options, making it abundantly clear that they really care about this game. I understand if you feel like an unfinished game isn't worth that much money, especially in its current state, and that's completely fine. If you do feel that way, then I highly encourage you to wishlist the game so you can get notified when the full release is coming, because you should absolutely buy it then. However, if you're at all intrigued by what I've talked about so far, then I am begging you to buy this game now. Let's have a heart-to-heart real quick. It's really fucking hard to make a game. Do you know how many people are on the development team for this game? It's 4. 4 people made this game. And one of them is only listed as marketing on the website, so I'm pretty sure that means he didn't actually develop the game itself. So really it's 3 people. No offense to you, Marco. You did a great job with trailers and stuff. I'm not trying to say they didn't do any work. It's just not on the actual game itself, as far as I know. This is an incredible game for being made by such a small team, and it's just going to keep getting better. And the more people that buy the game, the better it can get. I want to support these guys because they're amazing. I want to watch the game develop and change over time, and I'm glad that I'm here from the very start. If you don't want to spend your money, there's a demo on the Steam page that you can try out, and if that changes your mind, please purchase this game and join me on the journey of growing with it. Just so we're clear, I'm not sponsored or being compensated in any way to say this stuff, I just really want to see this company go places. Not only to finish Death Trash, but to see what comes next, because I think it's going to be amazing. I know that this team of people is just starting out and probably looking for ideas on how to improve their game, so they might even see this video. If anyone working on this game sees this review and is watching right now, then I want to tell you all, good work. This is fantastic, and I'm glad that I found out about it. Everything is great, from the art to the combat loop, from interactions that made me laugh to sounds that made me cringe, it's all amazing. It has a great boss fight, as well as another that makes me want to kill myself, and I just can't wait to see the rest of the story, because just like Death Trash's campaign, this video might just end